Hi boys and girls, welcome back to another lesson of handwriting. So young people, let's start with our long date. So remember, we need to think about our rhymes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, are my feet flat on the floor? Is my chair also tucked in? 1, 2, 3, 4, are my feet flat on the floor? 5, 6, 7, 8. Is my back up nice and straight? 9, 10, 11, 12. This is how my pencil is held. Okay, remember your thumb and your other two fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are my feet flat on the floor? 5, 6, 7, 8. Is my back up nice and straight? 9, 10, 11, 12. This is how my pencil is held. 13, 14, 15, 16. Now I'm ready to start my writing. Okay, so now let's start with the long date. Watching me first, of course, today is Tuesday. So I'm going to start at those top dotted lines. I'm going to go down to the bottom solid lines and take my pencil off. And I'm going to cross from left to right. Your turn. Make sure you start right over on the edge. Okay, now we're going to write U. So watching me, starting on that top solid line, going down, curving the bottom, coming up, going back down. Your turn. Okay, now for the E. So I'm starting in between the top solid and bottom solid lines, coming up, creating that loop, going down, curving up, letting go. Your turn. Now for our S, I'm starting over here just below that top solid line, arching up and around, coming down, arching around, touching the bottom, coming up, letting go. Your turn. Now for the D. Remember, D is like an A, so I'm starting on the right and I'm coming over to the left and going down, curving that bottom, coming up, touching the top dotted line, coming back down. Your turn. Please make sure you put that curve at the bottom. I just notice sometimes people don't. They get to the bottom and then they try and come straight back up again. Okay, now for our A, so starting over on the right, going to the left, going down, now curving that bottom a bit, okay, coming back up and then going down. Your turn. Okay, now for Y. So watching me, Y is like a U. So we start on the top solid line, come down, curve the bottom, come up, touch that top solid line, come down, past the bottom solid line and curve. Your turn. Okay, remembering our finger spaces. So I'm going to leave a finger space and I'm going to write 13. Please watch me. I start at the top dotted line like we do with all letters. All numbers and capital letters. I go down to the bottom solid line and I take it off. Watch me. Then I'm going to come just below that top dotted line, come up and curve it. Okay, curving, curving, curving onto that top solid line. Curving, 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 curving down to the bottom solid line. Your turn to write 13. Okay, now I'm going to write the TH. So watching me, top dotted line going down, taking it off, crossing from left to right, and then I'm going to do the H. So keep watching. Starting at the top, going down all the way to that bottom solid line, coming up and branching, going back down. Your turn. Okay, I'm going to leave a finger space. I'm going to leave a finger space and I'm going to write the month. So the month is October. So watching me, I'm going to start over here on the right. For my capital O, I'm going to go to the left, go down, and remember it's like an egg shape, not a circle. Come back up and join. Okay, pay attention to that join at the top. It's not a harsh join and take off, it curves around and meets up. Your turn. Okay, now watching me, I'm going to write the C and the T. So the C starts just below, see where my dot is? Just below that top solid line, comes up, arches around and down, comes up again. That's C, and now for the T, top to bottom, off, left to right. Oct. Can you please write oct? Okay. Now I'm going to write the rest, which is the ober. So I'm going to write O. So watching me, over on the right to the left, down, come up and join. And as you'll notice, this O is lowercase, this O is uppercase. So make sure the heights are different. Your turn. Okay. So I'm going to do B now. So I'm starting at the top dotted line. I'm going all the way down to the bottom solid line, coming up and branching out, okay, like an H. But remember, the bottom curves in and then flat lines. Your turn. Okay, now for ER. So watching me, E, remember between the two solid lines, up and around, we're looping. And then R, going down, coming up and branching, little curve. Your turn. Okay, that was October. It's the 13th of October. It's my little niece's birthday. So, I'm going to leave a space. And I'm going to write the year, which I'll have no problem fitting in this time. So remember the 2, watching me, it starts just below that top dotted line, comes up and around, goes down to the bottom solid line and across. And then the 0 from the right to the left, down. Remember, it looks like a long face or a long egg. So that's the 20. I'm going to do it again, so this gives you a chance to watch again. And make sure you hold down your page. 2020. Excellent. And I managed to fit that all on the line. Tuesday, 13th October 2020. Oh, but guess what? I'm missing some things. I wonder if you can figure out what I'm missing. Yes, that's right. I'm missing my comma after October. So I'm going to put that in now. Let's have a look. So just above that line and like that. So that's one thing that I'm missing. I'm missing one more thing. Maybe it was a bit too easy to fit that on the line this week. That's right, I'm missing of. Tuesday, 13th of October 2020. But let's think about this. Is there enough room to write the word of? Well, I've already got a finger space there. I don't think there is enough room. Now, when we're writing in our writing books, you would use your editing marks. You'd put in a little arrow and you'd write the word up here. But in handwriting, well, we might leave that out. This still makes sense. We still understand what the meaning is. Okay. So, what are we working on this week? This week we're working on the letter U. Okay, so let's have a look at capital U or uppercase U. Watching me, please. I'm on the next set of lines. I'm starting on the top dotted line and I'm going down, curving, coming up to the top dotted line again and then going down. So it's like a giant lowercase u. It's just really tall. Okay, I'm going to show you that one more time before you have a go. Haven't said go yet. Alright, so finger space. I'm going down, up, down. Great. Okay, your turn now. You can fill your row. You can move along with me. But take your time. Remember your finger spaces. I'm going to leave a finger space between each of my uppercase U's. That's what we should do every time, is leave a finger space. And the more you practice leaving finger spaces, the better you will become at being able to do it without your finger. So like when you're writing in your writing books, if you practice this during handwriting and you get your eyes to have a look and think about how wide a finger space actually is, and yeah, you'll be able to do it in your writing books as well, or in your literacy books, or in your maths book, or in any book. Okay, now I'm having a look. Do I have enough room to fit one more? Yes, I do. Awesome. I have a row of uppercase U. Okay, so hopefully you're finishing up your row of uppercase U. Now we're going to write a row of lowercase u. So please watch me first. Lowercase u looks like uppercase U. It's just that it fits between the two solid lines only. So watching me, I'm going to go down, curving that bottom, coming up, going down. Okay, and then I'm leaving a finger space. You're still watching me. Okay, so that's what they look like. Very similar. Okay, so I'm just going to move that. I'm going to keep filling out my row of uppercase U. Lowercase u. Don't get your cases confused. Now, if you have a good look at my lowercase u's, they kind of have they're not pointy, but they've got like a little bit of a point thing going on. Okay, they're not a bubble. It's not like I'm drawing a big half circle on the bottom. Great. I had space, so I fit one more in there. But if you don't have the space, it's okay. All right, on our next line, or our next row, we are going to create the combination. That's good because then you can see how it looks when you've got uppercase U and lowercase u side by side. So I'm going to start on this top dotted line, and you're watching, and go all the way down to the bottom solid line, come all the way back up again, nice sweeping hand movement, and go down, still watching me. Then next to it I'm going to write little u, which is the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to leave a finger space. I'm going to do it again, so uppercase U, lowercase u. Great. And we can keep going until we've filled out our entire row. Okay, now I don't think I'm going to have enough room for the last part. All right, we are getting down to our wordplay now. Exciting stuff. Okay, now because this week our letter focus is an sound, can also make a U sound, but in this case we're going to talk about short U. So it makes an sound, so we're going to write a word, a base word that starts with starts with U. And that word is ugly. All right, so watching me, U, remember G's like an A, round the bottom, L straight down, L's like, Y is like a U, but the tail comes down and curves. Ugly. Could you please write ugly? And while you're doing that, think about the sounds you can hear. You can hear ug, l, and then e. So that Y is making an E sound because it's on the end of a 2-syllable word. Ugly. Okay. So you've written ugly. Ugly is a word that means when something doesn't, what's the opposite of beautiful? It is an opinion adjective that means, you know, somebody might think that something is ugly, whereas someone else might think that the same thing is beautiful. It's a word we often use in fairy tales to describe some of the bad characters, like the ugly old witch. All right, that was ugly. So now I'm going to, am I going to write ugly again? No, I'm not. Because, oh, sorry guys, it's a little bit tricky this week. I'm just using something different to hold up my camera, which means it's a bit hard for my fingers to make finger spaces. Okay. So I'm not going to write ugly again, but I am going to change the end of ugly and add a suffix. So I'm going to make ugly into ug, e. Oh, it's not a Y this time. It's getting changed to an I. because I'm going to put on the end. Uglier. Uglier. 3 syllables. So I've changed the Y to an I and I've added ER. By the way, you can write uglier. So uglier is a part of comparative language. So when we're comparing 2 or more things. So we might say, ooh, that dress is ugly. But then your friend might say, ooh, but see that dress over there? That dress is uglier. So it's even more ugly than ugly. It's uglier. All right. I'm going to leave a space. And now I'm going to change, again, I'm going to use some more comparative language because I'm comparing some things. I'm going to write ugh, and you're watching. You're watching how I make the letters, how I form them. So I've got ugly. Oh, it's an I again. And I'm going to write the suffix est. Ugliest. So I changed the Y to an I and I added EST. So ugliest. Again, we're comparing more than one thing. So you might say, ooh, that, dress is ugly. But the second one is uglier. But the third one is the ugliest dress of all. Ugliest. Out of the 3 witches, the third witch is the ugliest witch of all. Okay, that was ugliest. And for the final word, I'm going to leave a finger space and I'm going to write E. Oh, look, it's that I again. But I'm going to add ness. Ugliness. Ugliness. So ugliness is not comparative language. We're not comparing anything there. So ugliness is a word that can be used to describe well, that's a bit of a tricky one to explain, but for example, you might say, oh, there's so much ugliness in this room, and you might be talking about the way that people are behaving. So if people were saying unkind things, you might say, oh, there's a lot of ugliness around. Ugliness. So we're treating it like a noun, like it's a thing. Ugliness. Okay. Well done. Oh my gosh, well done guys. We have completed our handwriting lesson. But what I want you to do now is get your finger and I want you to put it in different spots and check that you've actually left a finger space. Use your eyes as well. Okay, have a think about if you've left consistent finger spaces. Think about whether you made your letters large enough or small enough, depending on whether they were uppercase or lowercase. Think about whether they touched the lines as well, whether they touched the correct lines. If they didn't, then fix that up next time. Okay, the next time you do handwriting, really make an effort to touch the correct lines. Give yourselves a pat on the back and have a listen to your teacher's instructions. Bye.